So fine, let's see how to build extend reports. This is how extend reports they look like. Okay, you have got test cases on the left side and you can have the logs inside the test cases. Okay, so by end of this video you will be able to understand that how to build reports like this. You can also embed screenshots in the reports if you want. Fine. And you can have a graphical representation of the past failed test cases and all everything. Okay, so let's see how you can build extend reports. Basically extend reports, there is an official website for this. You can go to extend reports website, extendreports.com. Now there are two versions of this report. One is pro version, which is of course paid, and other is the community edition. Okay, if you look at the demo link over here, they have got the demo samples of all the types of reports which are there. Okay, standard, standard alt, okay, BDD. So majority of these are in the pro edition. Okay, but there are few free editions as well, which I will talk about. Fine. And it's good enough to work in a project. It's really good, the free edition as well. All right, now to start with extend reports, I'm going to make a new Maven project. We will go with Maven project, and over here we'll create a simple Maven project known as extend reports example. Fine. Now in this we'll have to add the dependency for extend reports. Okay, look, you have the versioning like this. You have version 4 of the reports, version 3. Between version 4 and version 3 there isn't much of difference. Okay, but you can get the Maven dependencies for extend reports for the latest version. You can write extend report Maven and you will get the Maven repository for the same. Okay, this has been moved to this link. Okay, so this is the Maven repository for extend reports. Right now the version which is going on is 4.1.5. I'll use this one. In case when you're watching the videos and if the new version has come up, you can try with that, or you can try, I would suggest to try with this. Okay, right. So I'll just copy this and paste it under the dependencies tag. Look, I'm going to make a utility in this video which I will be using later on in the frameworks as well. Okay, so I request you to actually be attentive and watch this module. Alright, so out here in source test resources folder, I'll make a new package known as test cases, and under it let us add, no, sorry, in source test Java I'll make a new package test cases, and under that I'll make a new class. Suppose I'll make a simple class like a login test. Fine. Now I'll not write the WebDriver code right now. I'm just interested in building the reports. Okay, so a public void do login is the function. Okay, and you add the testng library, you import the test. Fine. Now to build the extend reports, right, first you have to finalize the report configurations. What do you mean by report configurations? Well, what is going to be that, say, the name of the report? Okay, what is going to be the title of the report? What will be the theme? This theme is the dark theme. There is a light theme as well. Okay, so we have a class known as extend Look, these are all the reporters, BDD, event reporter. So these are under the paid thing. Okay, we have extend Spark reporter, which is not in the pro edition. Okay, this is open source, right? And I'll just write Spark reporter. Okay, you have to create the object of this class, but you need to provide the path where you will be generating the reports. Okay, right. I will be generating the reports under this folder. Let me delete everything. Under this folder, okay, I will be generating the reports. Fine. So I will just write over here this folder. Fine. So in the Spark reporter, you can add different configurations. You can write over here that dot config dot set report name. What is the name of the report? Okay, for example, I will write over here production regression testing. So this is going to be the name of my report, production regression testing. Then you can add different other configurations as well, that is dot oh, sorry, dot set the title of the reports. Okay, say automation reports. I'm just giving any name. Fine. Then you can set the theme of the reports. There are two types of themes defined by the theme class. Okay, dark and standard. Okay, we just saw the dark theme which I showed you. Standard theme is normal white background. Okay, and then you can also, um, sometimes you have got special characters in the reports, like you have characters in Chinese language or something, and you need to put those in the reports. For that you have to, specify the encoding like this UTF-8. Okay, right. Now out here, this is how you finalize the reports, the report configuration. Then you initialize the reports. Okay, to initialize the reports, there is a class known as extend reporter, extend reports, sorry. Okay, you create the object of this particular class. Fine, and write over here reports, a report dot attach the reporter Spark reporter. You attach the Spark reporter object which you created, and you added different configurations in this object. You attach that. Similar to Spark reporter, there are other reporters which have more richer configurations, but those are in the paid version. Okay, the pro version. Fine. So in extend reports, you create the object, you attach the reporter which is the Spark reporter, and now you can write over here your reports are initialized, everything. You can start logging. You can write report dot create test. You can create the test named as, say, login test in the reports. Right. Create test function, it returns you reference of a class known as extend test. Extend test class represents a test case. Okay, you can import it. This class represents a test case, and in the report you have created a test case. Fine. What do you want to do with the test case? You can start logging. You can start logging things, that is test.log. You can put status dot say. There are different types of log status, like you have to report a failure, you have to report some information, pass, skip, error, anything, warning. Okay, so you can write over here status dot info, that is I want to put some information, that is starting login test. Okay, then some more information, that is you are opening the browser, right? Then navigating to the website. Okay, you can add few lines like this. Okay, and then in the end, if suppose that you write some WebDriver code, of course, along with this. Okay, if the test is passing, you can write pass. If it is skipping, skipped. If it is failing, you can put the status fail. So this all is going to come in the reports. Okay, so you write over here status dot pass, so this will put a pass in the reports. And in the end, it is very necessary to write the command report dot flush. This command is actually, okay, report dot flush command is actually going to generate the reports. Okay, report dot flush command is actually going to generate the reports. Alright, so to generate the reports, you just need to right click on this Java file, you run it as a testng test, and you will see that under the reports folder index.html is made, and if you open it with Chrome, you will see the theme is now white. You can keep the dark theme as well. Okay, the background will become black, and you get all the logs over here. Alright, and in the dashboard you will be able to see the graphical representation of the report as well. It tells you the time at which the test started, the time at which it ended. Okay, report.flush is very important. It represents the end of the test case. Okay, it will generate the reports as well. Alright, fine. Now if I make a new test case, okay, I'll make a new test case. For example, create, after logging in you need to create a user. Okay, create user test. Fine, just taking any dummy example, and I make a test case at the rate test public void create user. Now I want to make the reports of this test case as well. Okay, so obviously I will have to write this code again. Alright, so in the create test function you will create a new test known as create user test. Now this looks weird that I am just copy pasting the same code. We will find a solution for this in some time, I will tell you, but let me just show you a problem first. Okay, so you can write over here starting create user test or something. Okay, over here you can mention the pass message that create user test passed. Alright, fine. So over here I should have written login test passed. If you want to fail it, you can write fail over here. Okay, now when you run this, when you run both of them together in a batch, to run both of them together obviously you will have to use testng.xml. Fine, so just a minute, I'll get testng.xml out here in the project, and I'll add both the tests in testng.xml. Okay, test name is, say, the first test is login test. Fine, and the class associated with the test is test cases package dot login. This name is case sensitive. This can be anything, but this is very case sensitive. Be very careful. Okay, and then you have to run create user test. Okay, and this is in the file create user.java. Okay, so when you right click on testng.xml and say run as testng suite, so what will happen is that both the tests will run. Okay, there is some parse error. Name is required. Yeah, that's what I was. Name is my suite. Okay. Yeah, it passes to both of them. Look, for the test suite you have to give the name, it's mandatory. Okay, so total test runs are 2, both of them passed. And if you look at the report folder, then index.html is formed, and if I look at this, then only create user test is visible over here. The other test case, which was the login test, is not visible. This is because login test executes first, login test creates its own report, and then create user test executes after that in batch, and it overwrites the report file of login test. We want that both the tests should be present in the same report. Okay, the problem is both the tests are creating their own objects of extent report. There should be one object of extent reports shared between all the test cases. This object of extent reports should be single, only one object of extent reports. Okay, and this should be shared with both login test as well as create user test. Alright, so I am creating individual objects in each of these test cases. So we won't be doing that. We will be taking help of a design pattern known as you can say singleton design pattern. In Java there is a design pattern known as singleton, with which one object can be shared with multiple classes. Okay, so let's talk about that. So what I'll do is that in my extend reports example in source main Java, I'll make a new package known as reports, and under this I'll create a new class known as extend manager. Fine, and inside this class I will declare the object of extend reports. This object I am going to share it with both the other two test cases. Okay, I'll initialize it and share it, and I will make it static in nature. I'm making it static so that static variable is not a part of the object. It is common for the whole program. We want extend reports object to be common for all the test cases. If you don't understand static, please go and watch module number 3 on the website under the free videos section. You can watch it. Okay, so this static stuff can be shared with all the objects. Okay, I'll make a function inside it known as public extend manager get reporter get report. Okay, in this function I will pass the path where I have to generate the reports, and this function will initialize this object. Okay, right, and will return the object of extend reports, but it will check that if the extend report object is null, that is if it is hasn't been initialized, only in that case it will initialize it and return back. Now how will this help us? How will this help us? The return type is extend reports. Sorry. The return type of this function is extend reports. It will initialize the object of extend reports and send us. Okay. In this part, we will keep the initialization, that is, we will finalize the report configurations. We won't write this code inside the test cases. Okay, we won't write this code. We will write it over here. We will finalize the report configurations. You will initialize the report and you will remove this as well from the functions. You won't write the initialization of the reports over here. You will write it over here that you will initialize the reports. You will write a report dot attach a reporter Spark reporter, the configurations. Okay, right. So you will initialize everything in the report object if the extend reports object is not initialized, and in the test case you will write extend reports object report equals to extend manager dot the extend manager class, which is this one, has the function get report. You will call this out here. Okay, but I will make this function static. Okay, so that I can call it directly with the class name. Okay, I don't have to create the object. I will write get report with the path of the reports. The path where the reports had to be generated was this particular path. Now how does this implementation help us? Okay, in both the test cases, in create user as well as login test, we are going to write this line. Okay, now understand that sorry sorry, so over here you have the get report function. Suppose both the test cases are running in batch, and first the login test executes. When the login test executes, it calls the get report function. When it calls this function, in this function report object for the very first time will be null. So report object will be initialized and it will be sent back. Okay, and login test will be using this extend reports object. But next time when create user test calls this function, okay, this time the report object will not be null. It is static. It is common for all the objects. It will not be null. So control will not go over here. It will return back the older report object which was initialized by the login test. So extend reports object remains same for both the test cases. Okay, even in fact other test cases which you create, you will just keep on calling this line. The first test case which initializes this report of the first test case will actually go and initialize the report object. Okay, fine. So this way there are two advantages. Firstly, you get one report object, and secondly, you don't write that code of initializing and and the reports configurations and all in every test case. This is known as singleton design pattern. That is, one function will only return you one object no matter how many times it is called. This function is returning you the same object report. One object is created. If it is initialized, it is if it is not initialized, sorry, it initializes it and returns back. If it is initialized, then it returns back the same object. Okay, so now when you run testng.xml, both the tests they execute, and if you look at the report, you see login test is also there, create user test. Login test I had failed, so it is failing over here. Okay, and create user test as well in one single report. One single report means one object of extent reports. Okay, right. Now moving ahead, every time you run the project, the older reports, they are actually lost, and the new report index.html takes place of the older report. Okay, every time you run this is going to happen. You are going to lose the old report, and we don't want that. We want that every time a new report should be generated. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we are going to make a report in this format. That is, we will make a folder like today's 24th April. We will make a report like this, 24th April, say it's in India, it is 9:15 a.m. So we will make a folder like this right now, and inside it you will keep the report, alright, the HTML file. So every time you run the program, automatically we will generate a new folder based on the timestamp, and we will keep the reports in this. And we will also make a folder known as screenshots, with which we can store screenshots inside this folder, and we can embed the screenshots in this report as well. Okay, so in the screenshots folder we'll have the screenshots, and the screenshots can also embedded inside the reports. We are going to see that now. Alright, so how do we generate this folder and all? For that, let me just make a temporary folder in reports. Okay, a temporary class temp.java. Look, in Java, if you create the object of date, date class, import java.util.date and type date.toString, and when you run this code, you will see that this is going to print the current day, time zone, time, day, everything. So this can be my report folder name, but the only thing is that colon is not allowed in report folder name. You cannot make a folder name which has colon. So I will write over here dot replace, hold on, replace all. Okay, replace all colons with, I'll say, with a hyphen. So when you run this code, this will be the output, and I want that the colon is replaced with hyphen. This can be the folder name. So this is my folder name. Okay, I have a path to the reports. I already have a path. This is the path. Okay, okay, in Java actually you have to give double slashes, not for, yeah. This is the path to the reports. Under this path we have to give this particular path, which is my folder name, right? This is my report folder name. So under this path we have to add this report folder, and we need to generate this report folder. So to do that, you have to create the object of file class in Java, and put the path of the out here, the path which you want to generate, and write file.mkdir, make directory. Okay, so when you run this code, you will see that under the reports folder, you see that this folder is generated. But under this folder, I want to generate a new folder known as screenshots as well. Okay, so I will write over here under the report folder, generate a folder with the name screenshots. When you have to generate multiple directories, in my PC the directory till reports folder is already generated. Okay, under this you have to generate this folder, and under this folder you have to generate one more folder. So in this case file.mkdir will not work. In this case we use the command file.mkdirs, make directories. This means we have to make multiple directories. Now if I run the code, you will see that this is the report folder generated. Okay, and under that screenshots folder is also there. Okay, so we are going to use this logic inside our extent manager when we are initializing the reports. Okay, we are sending the basic path over here. Right, I should have put this path over here. We are sending the basic path from the test case. Inside the extent manager you send the base path. I'll call it base path. Okay, from the base path you have to calculate the report folder path. Okay, and we will write the code over here. Okay, this is the report folder generation you have to do under the base path. Okay, so you will write over here the actual path will be the base path, whatever path you are sending over here. Look, from the test case when you send the path, make sure you give double slash in the end over here, because I am not giving it over here. Okay, I am just writing base path followed by the report folder name and the screenshots path. So this will generate, okay, this will generate the folder. Okay, now after generating the folder, you have to generate extent reports under this path, under the dynamic folder, not under the screenshots folder. Okay, under your base path followed by the report folder name. So the reports will be generated under this particular base directory. Alright, so now when you run this, okay, if I run my testng.xml, you will see that a new report folder is generated. Under that you have index.html and the screenshots folder. Index.html, if I open this, it will have both the tests. Now you can have screenshots embedded inside your particular report as well. When we will do frameworks, we will write the Selenium code which is going to put the screenshots in this folder, and then we will attach the screenshots in the reports. Right now I'm not writing the Selenium code. I will only tell you how to attach the screenshots in this particular report. Okay, for example, we are on any website. For example, we are on this particular Maven repository website, and I take the screenshot manually for this and save it, that is screenshot.png. okay, you can save it as png, jpg, anything. So this file I am going to attach in my reports. Okay, so the command is very simple. When you are running, suppose you have the login test. In order to attach the screenshot, you just write in the test case. Obviously in the test case you will attach the screenshot. So practically a WebDriver will take screenshot and store in a file. Okay, that file can be a PNG file or a JPG file, and then we are going to use this test object to add the screenshot in the reports. Okay, for that the command is add screen capture from path. Okay, you can give the path over here, that is, right now I'll just hard code the path, that is screenshot.png. You can give some title over here, I'll tell you in some time. Okay, you have to add the throws declaration in this case. So now when you run this as testng suite, you will see that this is the new report folder, and under this index.html is there. If I open this in Chrome, this is the screenshot. Okay, right, and it is embedded inside the report. Okay, now the thing is, if I open the report in Firefox, you will not be able to see the screenshot. Extend reports, they are supported on Chrome as far as screenshots and all are concerned. Okay, right. So this file is really important, extent manager. It is a single location where the reports are initialized. Tomorrow if they say that fine, change the theme to dark theme, you just have to change it over here and run the project again. The new reports will be in the different themes, or you want to, you know, change the title of the report or something. It's just one location from which you can change all the configurations, right? Okay, so we will be using this extent manager utility in all the frameworks, in hybrid framework, Cucumber, BDD, everything we will be using. If your company has the pro version of these reports, okay, then, or the pro version of the extent reports I'm saying, then in BDD, especially in Cucumber and all, you have this BDD extend BDD reporter, which is really helpful. Okay, so out here, if you look at this extent manager, instead of using extent Spark reporter, you will be using extent BDD reporter. Alright, fine, but this is good enough for open source. I think these reports are good enough. I use them. I never got the pro version actually. Yeah, okay then.